Hello, I'm Ian Evans, the administrator for the MA in Publishing at UCL, and I'd like to introduce our programme director, Dr Daniel Boswell, to answer some questions.
Hi there, Ian. Thanks very much for making time for
Hi,
me this
Daniel.
afternoon.
Thank you. So first of all, I've got a list of questions to ask you. First of all, what's the aim of the programme, please?
So I'm the Programme Director of the Publishing MA, and our main focus is on providing students with a well-rounded understanding of how the publishing industry, both within the UK and more broadly in theoretical contexts, works. We equip them with the tools and skills and knowledge to go into a wide range of publishing-related jobs.
That's great. Now, what nationality and background mix of students do we have?
I think we're very fortunate to have a very well balanced and broad range of students, both in terms of the locations that they come from and their backgrounds and experiences coming onto the course. So we have about a kind of even split balance between kind of national, domestic UK students, European students, and students coming from further afield across the world. Generally, our student number sits somewhere between 50 and 60 students. Within that student population, as you'd expect, there's a huge range of background experiences, both in terms of previous study and also students who have much kind of lower experiences of education and study. They come from all fields. What we're really interested in is their engagement with the subject matter and the profession and trade.
That's great. I see that as well, processing the applications, absolutely. So the next question I've got is, do students find work in the UK and abroad after the course?
Yes, as a broad statistic, I would say that we sit very well, kind of certainly in the upper 75% or so of students gaining some kind of employment virtually directly out of graduation. That may be directly within the publishing industry or in related or affiliated fields. There is some separation at the moment with the current climate between students who are international, who come and train here, but may often have to return home to find work, and domestic and European students more directly currently working within the UK field. It is more difficult for those requiring work visas and permits to find work directly in the UK in the publishing industry at the moment. But that's why we're focused on trying to deliver a course which is both domestic and international in scope.
Right. Oh, excellent. So what funding opportunities are there for the MA, please?
So the primary bursary that we provide is part of what's known as the Stationers Company Postgraduate Bursary Scheme. We are supported and sponsored in this by the Worshipful Company of Stationers, which is a City of London livery company. And they provide a bursary scheme whereby they pick one of our students from a series of shortlisted applications in order to support them with their tuition fees. Whilst it doesn't apply to providing all of the funds for the course, it covers a good portion of the entrance fees, and it also provides them with membership of the Worshipful Guild, which is an important step and support network in finding out more information and mentoring from within the industry. The Stationers also support students who are interested in possibly applying for additional funds or bursary schemes alongside the sponsorship that they're able to provide. That would be up to students to go and find beyond that, maybe other potential sources of funding that could support them. We also do often have international students on the course who are supported and funded through the Chevening Scholarship, which is an award arranged for international students.
Excellent. So I wonder if you could tell us about the structure of the course and how it's timetabled for full-time and part-time students.
Sure. I think that the structure, the organization of the course actually is one of the big benefits to studying with us, the kind of way that it's orchestrated around that consideration for how people are going to not just study on the course, but also live the rest of their life in London, if you like, over the course of this intense year. Every term, we have a fixed kind of arrangement of modules. All of our modules or courses in the first term are core, so they are required to be taken on by all of the entrants to the course. In our very first week after induction, we run an intensive 1-week module called Publishing Contexts, where every day of that week, from Monday to Friday, the students come in and they get kind of an intensive an introduction to the way that the industry works. From that week onwards, we move into a more traditional outlay of modules, and all of our classes are taught in some variety or capacity on 2 days of the week. For the coming year, that will be Mondays and Fridays. In the second term, we move into options that we have that are available for our students, and other students are able also to take these options, and our students are able to opt for other options across the department as well. However, we still maintain those same timetable days for delivering those courses. So the classes will always fall next year on Mondays and Fridays in the morning and in the afternoon then. Now, the thought process with that organization, whilst it might seem quite intense, is also to provide that span of time during the week, in this case, the 3 central days, Tuesday through Thursday, where students can occupy themselves with other extracurricular work, which they may need to do to support themselves working. We completely appreciate that in London. Also other commitments of family life, but also what those 3 days allow for is more free time to potentially engage with a lot of the kind of networking opportunities and other events that might be going in and around London, which are of relevance and benefit to students interested in entering into the publishing industry. The publishing industry, as well as being creative, is at its core also a social industry, and as such it's important to become a part of that network. And that's why we try and keep the kind of fixed timetabling so that students can engage as far as possible with other activities during the week.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you. So the next question I've got is what pastoral support is available to students during the MA?
Well, over the course of the MA, it's very typical for our students to become quite familiar with the program team as a whole, and we'll spend a lot of times, all of us, fielding queries. There are 4 members of the program. In addition to myself, we have Drs. Samantha Rayner, Dr. Melanie Ramshambold, and Dr. Caroline Winterskill, and we also have Nick Canty. All of us are both embedded in academic networks regarding publishing research and also the publishing industry itself. And we often advise and support students in many of their kind of concerns, certainly related to the course specifically. However, in addition to that, all students are assigned a personal tutor within the Department of Information Studies, and it's the personal tutor's role to support that student more broadly in terms of any of their pastoral concerns. And where they're not able to resolve any of the broader challenges that the student might be facing day to day, they're the ones who are best placed to help advise that student where they can go to find support.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it's certainly a really good, nice department to work in. I've worked here a long time. Really
I'm very proud of the collegiate nature of our department. I don't think it's unfair to say that we're the smallest department at UCL, but that also makes us a very close bunch in a very good way.
That's right. I appreciate it too. The next question I've got, you may have touched on it already, but what's it like studying at UCL on the MA publishing program?
Well, I certainly think a couple of the points that we've already just made are a big factor in that. I think that it's a very welcoming experience in what can be a very challenging year for the students. I don't deny that doing an MA, and generally most of our students are full-time. We do get occasional part-time and modular students, but most students who enter the course do it part-time, which means that they are there to complete the entirety of the program within 1 year. That can be an intense process because you have to complete all of the core modules, do a selection of optional modules, and then over the summer work on your MA dissertation. And in addition to that, you've got to kind of integrate, network, take advantage of every opportunity you can. So it's fast-paced and it can be tiring. But I think that we do a good job of keeping, as far as possible, everyone in the group, the students and the team themselves, connected, and we're, as far as possible, available to students for discussions on one-to-one bases whenever they need. I think that's a really important part of the students feeling supported and also getting to know each other on the course. We're a fairly big MA in size. Like I say, our usual number sits somewhere between 50 and 60 students in an average annual intake. That's a large number to have on an MA program, but it also means a large group of new friends to make over the course of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. The next question I've got is how are students assessed for the modules? Thanks.
Each of the modules is assessed by one piece of coursework, which is required to be submitted usually either towards the end of the term, if not after the completion of the module. These vary in style, all involve some kind of written extended piece of work, a single piece of coursework, typically of 3,000 words length. They vary, ranging from everything from your more traditional academic essays through to assignments which are designed to emulate aspects of professional work, whether it be developing, say, a marketing plan or writing a reflective report on design. We do not have any kind of examination process on the course. There are no tests or exams to be taken at any particular points that would contribute towards the final grades on the course. That is entirely judged through the coursework. And then obviously the large MA dissertation that is taken at the end of the year. This is an extended piece of writing based on research that the students develop and design themselves. And it's about 10,000 to 12,000 words in length.
Okay, thank you. My next question, are there any guest speakers as part of the programme?
There are guest speakers on a variety of the modules throughout the programme. In fact, that's something that I've just been discussing with the team preparing for the coming year. The nature of the guest speakers and their backgrounds is entirely dependent on both the content of the course and also their specialist backgrounds. But all of these speakers in some way are related to the profession of publishing, whether that be very directly as a variety of managers, publicists, marketers, editors, or otherwise directly working within publishing companies, whether they be consultants in some other capacity, or other types of academics with specialisms in particular fields that relate to these issues regarding publishing. We cover a very broad spectrum of subjects across the course. As you'd expect, in a year we have to introduce students to the totality of publishing as it exists. That means having kind of core modules that study topics ranging from sales and marketing, authorship, contracts and rights, editing and communication, and even business management within publishing, including some brief coverage of how to work finances and even do kind of business startups. As you'd expect, that means drawing on a wide pool of professionals and individuals from within the industry. But we are able to do that. We're based at the heart of London, and that gives us a really close link with the core of the publishing industry in the UK. A number of the major corporate and transnational publishers have their headquarters here, but also many key independents who I know many incoming prospective students and many of our existing students are often excited to hear from. Companies like Bloomsbury, who are the publishers of Harry Potter, and Faber and Faber, famous as the home of T.S. Eliot's work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Thanks. My next question was going to be, what links do we have with the profession, which you've just touched on?
I kind of think I've answered that for you. Many.
So the final question actually is, so what percentage of students complete the program? Thank you.
So I was trying to reflect on this recently. It's kind of a hard thing to quantify. It's certainly not something that's ever fixed, but what I do feel very confident in saying, and I'm happy to say, is that the reason it's difficult to answer that is because it's very rare for there to be an instance of a student not completing the course. We do every so often, for a variety of reasons, as is always expected and always needs to have flexibility for students once they've begun, occasionally have students who may have had to leave the course for reasons of their own. And there are very, very seldom but occasional situations where students may have struggled to pass particular courses. But I would say that as a percentage figure, it would easily be certainly at least 95% of our students that complete successfully the course.
Yeah, I think that's right, absolutely. Okay, so that was my final question. So thanks very much for that. I hope that was helpful.
I hope that was helpful. And to anyone watching, I'm certainly hoping that you're interested. I'd be very happy to have any further discussions. If anyone wants to get in touch with me directly to discuss those as the program director, I can be contacted at my UCL address. I don't know if you'll be providing that at the end of the video, but please feel free to.
Yes, we can do, I think. And also, I know
And I'm certainly happy to have further discussions and maybe hopefully meet some of you in the coming year.
that's lovely. Thanks very much. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much, Ian.